And we're back. All right, so that pivotal game was lost there by VortiX. And now VortiX is going to have to win the next 2 games against SuperNova, who seems to be very adaptable.
Yeah.
He's got no problem switching his builds.
He did a good job there, and Day9 said it very well when he said, VortiX, stop losing that third hatch. Build it somewhere else if you're always going to lose it. Then you'll have another hatch. How sick would that be?
I think about it like, you said you can make it in the main, or I guess in the natural. Just get some more drones, we get your 4th, take it there. Because he wants to power, it seems like.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation. All right, we got the countdown going on here. Are you guys having fun at the Intel Extreme Masters?
Well, the next map is going to be Metropolis.
This map should make for a pretty long game.
Yeah.
It's also a very difficult map to lose your 3rd hatchery on early on.
That's true. If he actually ends up killing the 3rd hatch on this map, I'll be a little bit surprised.
Enjoying our players. He's up 2-1. He's adaptable. He's playing better than basically everybody else right now. He is SuperNova. And in the only other starting location over here. Excuse me, no, it's not. In the center left starting location over here. This is not Atlanta Spaceship.
Yeah.
In the we have our Zerg player playing solid. He's very young. Give it up for VortiX.
I make that mistake sometimes when I start watching the map. I'm like, oh, Atlanta Spaceship. Oh, no, never mind.
I do that all the time.
All right. So Metropolis close by air spots. This could make the Banshee-type style very good. Of course, medevac drops as well. But that also allows the mutas to quickly harass. I would say I would like this more from the Terran perspective. Zerg wants to be as far away as possible.
Well, looks like we could very well have another command center being thrown down here. He doesn't have an SCV to put the barracks down just yet. So command center first is going to be the strategy of choice here for SuperNova.
Well, yeah, you're looking like you're right, Tasteless, and he just keeps doing that. But it's pretty safe because even if you go for a quick pool like a 6 pool and bring drones, I have seen people like Marine King basically hold that. Not always, but it's like, how crazy all in is that? And what if they didn't do that? What if they did a 1 Rex expand? So command center first is like really powerful right now in this matchup.
All right, so we see, does he scout that? Well, he should know. There's no barracks here. SuperNova not as common for him to put the barracks outside of his main. It's more of an MVP thing.
Indeed, and if he had kept going with the Overlord and there was no command center there, maybe a Marine pops out and kills the Overlord, in which case he's in a lot of trouble.
All right, so when does VortiX take the 3rd hatchery? In his defense, as you can see here, this base is pretty far away from the starting location of this barracks. That's a long distance to travel. Then you got to consider the fact that there's destructible debris here. So if he does get attacked here, the Queen is going to have to walk all the way down here, which could be pretty bad news.
Yeah. I want to point out that a really quick gas has been taken this game by VortiX. This is definitely a quicker gas than we've seen in the other games so far. So is this going to be just for speed, or are we going to see him mix it up and maybe do an all-in?
Could be. I don't know what I would do right now if I was VortiX. When you're behind in the sequencing of these games, you lose the first one, adapt, win the next one, then you adapt, you lose the next one. You got to come up with something pretty drastic.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how on earth SuperNova is going to try to play this game. It looks like it could be a mech opening.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing we've been basically seeing out of him. Obviously the Hellions, that's always going to occur. Most likely the Banshees as well. Well, his SCV actually scouted how quickly that gas was taken, but he did pull all the drones off the gas. So that's something that's pretty important to point out. He's not looking to all in. He's looking to have just a speed out so that he can actually do things like trap the Hellions and kill them off.
And this SCV will finally go down here. So, let's just say he goes mech Artos. Let's do a little bit of theory crafting. Is he going to be okay?
Well,
because this is a big map. It's a freaking huge map.
That's true.
Mech is a little bit better on tighter maps.
Luckily, we don't have to even theory craft anymore because he just made 2 Raxes. So, I guess he's just not going to go for the mech here, deciding instead that, you know what, this is a pretty good scenario to go for Marines, especially considering once he gets medevacs, the main is just so easily droppable.
All right, the Hellions coming out here now. And, yeah, I mean, only time can tell. Do you think he's going to do that timing, actually? Let's theorize a little bit more. Is he going to do a similar timing to the last game? Just going to go in there and say, all right,
well,
Marines,
no.
buffer for me. Let's get this third hatch. This guy's greedy. It's almost impossible at this point in time, if it creates a timing to VortiX, for him to not lose the third hatch.
Well, he's actually getting stim this time. So with the stim, that timing is kind of not there anymore. You really want combat shields if you're going to attack like that. So I guess he's deciding, giving VortiX the benefit of the doubt that on this map, after this many times, that third base, not likely to fall.
All right, as you can see here, he never saw the two barracks over here, so he could still think that Banshees are coming. We saw him overreact by making spore crawlers. Now, the evolution chambers are almost done, so there's a high chance, actually, that you know, he might make some spore crawlers, and if there's any kind of attack over here, and their spore crawlers are basically useless,
yeah.
Obviously against ground units unless they're cloaked, that could be bad.
All right, so pretty good creep spread so far. Hellions denying one of these tumors at least. And a lot of Marines and Marauders being made. We actually, okay, so now we're starting to see what's going on. There's still no starport, so he's actually still doing a timing, a Marine Marauder stim timing, as opposed to just a Marine combat shield timing. So he's going to want to keep these Hellions alive no matter what. They're so crucial to this, to clean up the Zerglings.
All right, so when this, actually he might be moving out in a second here.
Yeah, he should be leaving his base really soon. Maybe as these next two Marauders pop. I think he's just, as soon as these two Marauders pop, we should see him move out.
Yeah, they're going to start moving when this Marauder comes out.
Hold on. There's one more.
There's one more.
There he is.
And the timing attack, wait for it. Yes, it is.
And there you go. So he is making his way across the map, getting those concussive shells that upgrade so quickly.
He did get spotted on the way over there.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He's just gunned down a Ling. So,
well, a lot of Banes on the way. He's going to have to deal with this with just Lings and Banes.
What you want to do is use the Marauders to be hit by the Banelings. So, it's kind of scary. He's closing in here. He sees the Banelings.
Oh, this is intense. The Banelings trying to connect with whatever they can, and they actually don't do that good of a job.
God, this is
nice
so bad for
stim
VortiX.
here. Yeah, it really is. A lot of Hellions left alive, a lot of Marauders as well. Those Queens going to have to run away for now, making 22 more Lings, but is that going to be enough? Coming up from behind with more Zerglings, but the Hellions, their numbers are staying very high.
All right, he gets the evolution chamber. He's avoiding the Broodlings. He's got this one Hellion over here that's doing a great job. The reinforcements come in. They are surrounded, though, the main army here. Now, he needs to get in there. He needs to do more damage than this. Gets the Queen. And will he get the second Queen as well? It looks like, indeed, he will.
And this might just be it, Tasteless. There's just nothing left. Some more Lings on the way, but SuperNova has more than enough units right now. The Spire is not even halfway done.
Even a bad rally point here from this base. Watch the Lings section just moving out there past this.
Oh, so painful. Losing even more units as they do pop out. He's even making another Queen at this point to try to help out.
Denying the Spire.
Dude, I think that we might be seeing GG pretty quickly here.
All right, he's going to go hug this corner. The Hellion's doing too much damage here to the Lings.
And SuperNova, you know, he was denied last year of an IEM championship, but he's looking so strong this time. I think this tournament might just be his.
I know. He's going to try to remake the Spire over here. I guess confident that he can hold his position. Now, that was really good surrounded by the Lings.
Yeah, that was really nice. And in fact, the Ling's doing a good job. 20 more on the way. You know, he might end up fighting this off, but what does he do from here? SuperNova hasn't really been hurt yet.
Yeah, that's true. Nice. Okay, you know what? He holds this.
All right, but
had they not been trapped here at the hatchery,
we have to look at the damage done. He's been building Lings for days.
As we do that, Artosis, if you guys can see, I don't know why I'm trying to zoom in to show you this. I'm too fancy. He just had two Spires be made at the same time. So you can see VortiX messing up a little bit.
Yeah, I was actually excited about the two Spires. I was going to be like, oh my God, he's going to go just pure Muta and get a lot of upgrades because there's been so many Marauders and Hellions made. There shouldn't be a lot of Marines, but that's not the case, Tasteless. You just made a mistake. You know,
all right.
So let's talk for a minute about the damage actually done there, right? He killed the evolution chambers. Did he finish the armor upgrade? Yeah, he got the armor upgrade for the Zerglings, but he killed the melee before it was done. He killed a ton of queens, forced VortiX into just countless Zerglings, and just slaughtered them for days. I mean, I feel like right now SuperNova has to be feeling really good.
All right, well, it looks like from here, SuperNova is going to take a third base and just go for your standard Marine siege tank with medevacs. He's got a 1-1 on the way. Now remember, during that attack, the evolution chambers are placed here and here were taken out. They're just now finishing, so the upgrade should start any second now. But the problem is that he's going to get his 1-1 vortexes by the time the attack and armor 1-1 for SuperNova, or the 2-2 are already finishing. So VortiX is going to be playing from a very bad position.
Well, Baneling's speed on the way. A lot of mutas already up, but those mutas are going to go and meet a ton of missile turrets. There's actually a ring around his base, as we see here, and in they come. Going to be so painful.
The mutas now being thrown out. A lot of damage being dealt here. And as you can see, the mutas are just going to run out.
Oh, okay. So you guys have been looking at the same thing over and over because they are taking my feed now. So I will do the observing. Thank you, Day 9. And so we do see the mutas flying across the map. Will he be able to get any damage done with these?
I don't know. We're going to have to see. And again, just so you guys know, we've switched the feed here. Artosis is now observing. We're using the preview computer.
And, well, stimming, chasing all of these away.
And the muta's now being forced back here. Although, look at the supply here for a second. VortiX, once again, evening up here with SuperNova. He should shoot past him. I don't know. Why is there queens moving out here like this, Artosis?
Oh, my God. Why are those queens moving
now
out
they're
there?
turning around?
Yeah, this is...
it was just like the biggest mistake yet of the whole series. He's just got 5 queens in the middle of the map.
Oh, lucky for him, he actually still has a queen at each of his bases. So while this wasn't good, it wasn't like a, oh my God, I have no injects. So that's nice at least. Well, he is picking off a few siege tanks here and there. VortiX is taking a 4th base. His creep push is all right. It's going to get a lot better, though, as these queens actually do get back.
Well, that was scary.
Oh,
we saw this.
We have a drop going on.
And it's doing a lot of damage over here. He picks up at the last second. Muta's flying back. He needs to do a little bit more damage. Maybe he could get the Spire or a few extra drones.
Yeah, he wants to get anything he can because this medevac will be taken out as the mutas do catch up finally. VortiX right now getting his hive, making a lot of lings and getting infestor upgrades, but his supply is way behind.
All right, look at the supply. Yeah, as you said, VortiX at 152. Does the SuperNova just push when he's maxed out? Or what? I mean, this is a weird map. I feel like this is one of those maps where if you push, you got to go to the Zerg's main base.
Normally, this is something that we talk about a lot, Tasis. When you get ahead in the early game against Zerg, to just do like a 2-2 timing attack, it's really hard for Zerg to hold on there because by the time you have 2-2s, Terran, you're getting near max out. This game, you absolutely will be max out. But your upgrades are going to be ahead for sure, and you're just going to have a very fearsome army.
All right, the 4th base now being taken. If he doesn't attack, he's probably going to make a bunch of orbitals. He might even try to turtle it out. But I don't feel like this is one of those maps where it's best to turtle it out,
We've seen some interesting games that look like that, like Cass versus ST this weekend. But, yeah, that's not SuperNova style, He's definitely going to push out. And, in fact, I love the time he's doing it. By the time he gets down there, that 2-2 should be just about finished up.
All right, the 5th base that was on the way will be forced to cancel at the last second. Picking up again.
And here he goes. He's coming down to the front of the creep. In the meantime, dropping in the main base and going after the spawning pool. Also dropping at the 4th of VortiX. Doing a great job scanning, getting rid of creep. SuperNova is all over the map right now.
SuperNova pushing in here. Taking out the creep tumors. Taking a little bit of an unorthodox path here. Gunning down all these queens. Only one gets away. Now this, remember, with the siege tanks in siege mode, oh, I like this, by the way. The siege tanks in siege mode, it's going to be very tough for the Banelings to actually approach.
Yeah, that's a lot of them. And here we go. He's just going forward with absolutely everything. He has a lot of infestors here. Nice fungal growth going down, but a lot of Banelings actually connecting with the tanks. It looks like VortiX will be able to clean this up.
Yeah, I guess so, but there are some reinforcements coming in here up at the top. It looks like he's going to take out those Lings, but
That's
more
right.
Marines and siege tanks are on the way over here.
Uh-oh, a lot of these mutas actually are falling down. The Lings coming out to help, though, and SuperNova may have overextended on this creep. The Zerglings catching up to everything, and he's going to lose these tanks and Marines.
And it looks like we're back onto my screen, so I'm back to observing now. Taking out that medevac there. I don't know, man. I think once he lost that push, he should have turned around. He had that small number of units that he continued to push forward with. And now landing the command center over here in this location. Looks like that's actually a little bit mispositioned. SuperNova getting a little bit shaken up. Probably thought he had this game.
Yeah, that's a funny place to put that command center down. Well, you know, right now, this is getting a little bit crazy. SuperNova had a nice lead, but VortiX, with his just great Lingbane Muta play, has crushed an army and is now going into Ultras.
All right, well, he's going to have to turtle up now. VortiX might have a timing to hit this base over here. That's exactly why SuperNova's making a planetary over here. And the Muta's coming in here now. They're going to take out this... no, they're not. I was going to say they're going to take out that turret before it finishes. Now the Muta's backing up. Going to the watchtower over here. This is just a tough position here for SuperNova.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's funny because there's a point in time where he almost
he looked so
won
good.
the fight over here and then won the game.
Yeah, he was like ahead in supply, ahead in upgrades. He had a very nice army, but you know, VortiX, he had good creep spread. He came in with some nice engagements and was able to clean that up. And now, I mean, he's looking like he is ahead, and he's ready to maybe tie the series up.
And now we got you know, a little bit more movement here from VortiX. And here's, I don't know if actually SuperNova can hold this. That push is pretty scary. This attack up here from VortiX, even scarier, actually. He's going to try to probably take out these Marines on the island here before they can actually do too much more damage. Oh my God, he just grazed by it. He didn't actually see it. Meanwhile, a drop over here will deny the 5th yet again.
Wow, that 5th has just been denied so many times at this point. And in fact, the whole army is going down to try to stop this. Of course, they will not be there in time. SuperNova is going to be able to pick up from there. We also have a drop going to the main.
Coming in here, he can get this spawning pool. It's pretty low already, and that would be a really smart move. I love it. But unfortunately for him, the Mutas are already over here transfusing on the Mutas. And he doesn't actually lose a single, well, he should have not lost a single Muta, but he moved that too quickly. Dropping again. SuperNova is just buying time, and it worked. He's now maxed out. He can defend potentially this attack coming up here, but we'll have to see.
The 5th base just got killed off again, Tasteless, but VortiX, he has a couple infestors up there. He's brought over his Mutas and will finally clean up this harassment dropship. But SuperNova already is going to send another one down there.
All right, the Ultras gathering up here. They're just outside of the sensor tower. Now coming in, and they're going to spill in here. I don't know, dude. I don't actually know if SuperNova is going to hold on here.
Well, he's got a lot of Marauders and Siege Tanks mixed in. The Banelings all going down. And can he micro well enough against this many Ultras? A couple Infestors coming up, throwing down a lot of infested Terrans as the Ultras just crush through everything. But SuperNova's done a pretty good job reducing at least the amount of units here.
We got 40 more Lings on the way. And so he's opened up this Terran's main defense here, taking out the sensor tower. Now he should avoid the planetary, at least for now.
Well, does he want to try to kill it? No, he does not. He is going to run away, in fact.
Looks like he's going to have to defend from this drop over here. Now, after he holds up this drop, I think the question is, can SuperNova build up the defenses again to hold this position? Otherwise, I think VortiX is just going to come in there and wipe him out.
Well, dude, VortiX at this point, he's switching back into Broodlords. He's making 8 Corruptors right now. And by doing that, that's going to mess up SuperNova, because SuperNova is preparing not for Broodlords, but for more Ultralisks. He's making a lot of Marauders, not as many Marines, not many Vikings or anything like that.
All right. Looks like we may have to switch to, is this my computer? All right, we're on my computer again. So anyways, Medevac coming down here now, and he's going to, once again, deflect this, but it's keeping the Zerg at home. Meanwhile, SuperNova, as you can see, he's getting that defense set up. It's a little bit scrappy right now, even though he's at 177 supply, but for what he's going up against with VortiX, you know, it's going to be tough to hold.
Well, SuperNova just continues to drop all over the map. I mean, he is everywhere, but VortiX is holding on, not letting it really do any damage to him. SuperNova has taken his 4th base, of course, we knew that, but his 5th base is finally up and mining, dropping mules there. And he's switching into some Ravens and even getting Seeker Missile.
All right, moving over here with those Lings. A little bit of sloppiness here. Oh, no, you know, that's not sloppiness. He actually wants to free up some supply and kill off some SCVs. So he's just coming in here. He's going to do some damage, take out these mules, whatever it takes to give him a little bit of a lead. And I think what he's making 4 more Corruptors, so he wants to have this Broodlord Death Ball. And I do say, Artosis, I believe he has achieved that.
I believe he has, Tasteless. This is a ton. 13 Broodlords, even has Infestors and Ultras underneath. A lot of Corruptors on the way to help out as well. And SuperNova's army is like just kind of a bunch of random units here. Does he actually have enough with only 7 Vikings?
This guy is the best Broodlord pusher in the world, man. This is insane. All right, let's see. SuperNova, can you hang on?
Well, here we go. He does have Seeker Missile almost done. If he can get one of those up on the Corruptors, maybe he can hold and kill the Broodlords, but too much damage is being dealt right now. Look at these Broodlords just absolutely crushing through. VortiX coming back from the brink of annihilation is somehow killing SuperNova.
VortiX back from the grave. He keeps on pushing forward. The Corruptors keep coming in here. Okay, I do see a few Vikings, excuse me. But is it enough? He's continuing to make Vikings. Corruptors pushing back. The Thor's hitting the Corruptors. Transfusions everywhere. Insanity here. He's getting closer and closer to getting to this part of the Terran's base, which is where all the production facilities are.
That's right, and look at this. So many Broodlords left over. He still has 13 here.
Oh my God. Bungle here on the Vikings.
Oh,
a lot of them going down.
But he doesn't have many Corruptors right now. Just 3 Corruptors left. Can he somehow, with these extra Vikings coming out, push these back? Not so sure, because the Queens are here to help as anti-air.
All right, the Broodlord's just coming in here doing so much damage. I think he's done it, guys.
I think he may be bringing this to a Game 5, and I couldn't be happier. Tasteless.
I know. I'm loving watching these two play. Our 100 in supply Terran might have to tap out here, as the Broodlords are going to wreck everything that makes the Marines, Hellions, all barracks factories basically being destroyed here. This is a mess, taking out depots.
That's right. Look at this,
oh
man.
My God.
He's even going to take out the reactor on the starport in just a second, so that Vikings cannot even be made as quickly anymore. And there's just not much left for SuperNova. He's just making Vikings anywhere he can, but even if he does that, he doesn't have enough production to make anything else to stop even Zerglings coming in.
VortiX is insane, man. Can this kid actually be stopped? I don't know. This Supreme late game is absolutely off the hook. He is so good. Now this planetary does go down, and we should see GG here any second.
SuperNova is going to have to GG.
So, I don't know, Artosis, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that I can't wait for game number 5.
Yeah, seriously amazing stuff here. I feel like SuperNova probably just going over this game in his head right now, since it's very obvious there's no way that he can recover.
Yeah,
probably saying, what exactly did I do wrong? Because
you even see him mumbling to himself here. I mean, he is a little bit confused for sure.
Yeah, and he probably asking himself, well, what build do I do in the next game? You know, if we go to the end game here, I'm not as likely to actually win this.
Yeah. Well, VortiX just finishing off all of his buildings, the Ultralisks and Broodlords running all over the place. And the SuperNova just does not want to give up at all. He just keeps making Vikings, hoping that somehow he can stop him. But VortiX has 2 fully mining bases, so these Vikings, of course, never going to work.
Yeah. All right, well, this game is absolutely, completely done. We don't even really need to play-by-play it anymore. GG.
GG. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. VortiX coming back and bringing this series to game number 5.
Going all the way across the largest map in StarCraft 2. Well, I guess that we have in this tournament at least. And then doing so much damage. I mean, sort of a slow push here. It's a really long distance to go. He had the Broodlords, he had the Ultralisks, he had everything. The Queens there to transfuse. I have not seen Broodlord pushes like this, where you get a Korean pro, a top 8 GSL Codes player, and he's always top 8, generally speaking. He can't even stop it.
Yeah.
And this is after SuperNova does a rush that cripples him, so it should be even more difficult than a normal game for VortiX to come back, and he's doing it, man.
Yeah. Well, we will see. I'm excited to see what the last map is going to be.
And it looks like it's going to be Antigua Shipyard, actually.
Ooh, Antigua Shipyard. This one's going to be a little bit tough. Hard for Zerg to get that 4th base.
Yep, if this is the greatest challenge yet here for our Zerg player VortiX, this is going to be the map. If I'm SuperNova, I'm just going to sit. I'm going to wait it out until we're in late game. Even though VortiX is very good at Broodlord pushing late game, 4th base, tough to get.
If you lose too many units, VortiX just starts attacking you and doesn't stop. That's pretty rough. And then if you don't attack him for too long, he makes a bunch of Broodlords. Pretty good strategy combo.
Pretty good stuff. Looks like we are going to. Looks like the players want to take a quick little break. So we'll just keep talking. What opener does SuperNova use?
Okay, Antigua Shipyard, I think he does very standard. He goes like Hellion, does a little bit of harassment, maybe gets some Banshees out. You know, the creep spread isn't so good of VortiX a lot of times in the early game. If he only makes 4 queens, it's going to be hard to defend that 3rd base from Banshee harassment. So I think he opens with that.
We'll have to see. Do you think that he could try to turtle it out for the late game?
Well, you know, turtling into taking the center would be great. That would be really, really nice for SuperNova, because once you take that center, Zerg just can't get a 4th base. They're stuck like in there. You can move anywhere very quickly. You have the Zelnaga Watchtower, the high ground. I mean, that's a painful place to be at.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to win this. I really genuinely don't. These guys are so evenly matched. Man. Think so?
Yeah, well,
there's something almost like mystifying about the way he's playing, the way he actually wins.
Well, let's go ahead and throw it over to Day 9 and Polaris and see what their take on what's going on is.
Thank you very much, guys. This series, Day 9, has just become something for the ages. VortiX somehow manages to go past all of this aggression that SuperNova is showing early on, and I can't even contemplate how the thought process is going into the later stages of these games for VortiX.
You know, let's hop into the game and look at this weird thing that seems to happen in every single match that VortiX is in. We see this push coming in where it's a whatever push. It happens every single game, in every circumstance. It doesn't matter if it's Hellion, Banshee, Marine Hellion. There always seems to be this attack that comes, and VortiX is never prepared for it, ever.
And it's happened literally in every game here against SuperNova. Something dies off, some big kind of damage is done, be it in around this 9 or 10 minute mark. It's either a hatchery going down, or it's either so much lava being fueled into units that he's not being able to drone up, etc., etc. And SuperNova, I mean, most Zergs in this position end up just dying. SuperNova here is hitting those timings that he knows best, because this is a timing that is very, very common in this matchup.
Well, this is actually the #1 attack timing in this matchup, 9 to 10 minutes. Like, every game has something like this, and the fact that VortiX is so underprepared every time for it blows my mind. So right now he's way far behind, and to SuperNova's credit, SuperNova is already preparing his next step way down the road. He's already finishing up his 3rd command center. He's already getting these plus upgrades. The only thing you could maybe say, I might want to see some tanks. That's perhaps the only criticism you could make, but even then it looks great in his base. But if we step ahead to the 14-minute mark, I think this is where we really start to see what makes VortiX's play cool. In recovery, he actually hasn't really built any drones. First, he makes these banelings, and then lots of Mutalisks. And ordinarily, this would be disastrous for the Zerg player. But the fact is, this map is just so huge that VortiX continues to just lock things out. He's building tons of drones. He actually starts building like 17 drones at a time, and uses all these forces to lock everything out. In other games, when his opponent isn't attacking, VortiX just attacks back. And then as we step here to, step to the, I think this is the key point in the game right before this battle happens. Without even watching the battle, it's amazing that VortiX has wiggled his way back to a really nice setup where he has his 8 Infestors out. It was the perfect delay.
Well,
and now...
Sorry, he has these timings where, I mean, going through the from the 10-minute mark to the 20-minute mark, VortiX knows when to apply pressure with his lava, I'm going to say. He knows when to be able to find the little holes in the Terran at the front to be able to actually produce those units, and then behind that drone up. It's specifically between this 10-20-minute mark that he does this. During the first 10-minute mark, it's very, very normal, very, very standard from VortiX's side of things. But where he differs from other Zerg players at this point, it really is in that allocation.
Well, I mean, as we join the next map on Antigua Shipyard, I do have concerns for VortiX in this spot because he had a lot of fortune in that it's big distances on Metropolis, so he had a lot of time to prepare. The drops weren't really able to do as much damage because it wasn't too late into the game. So unless VortiX has a big adjustment that actually allows him to hold off that extremely common timing push, then he's doomed.
Maybe indeed, maybe. So let's kick it back over to Tastosis, and we'll get into game number 5.